Hi, I'm Carol from Shore Financial Wellness.
And I'm Rhonda. And today we are going to talk about emergency funds. So, emergency funds have gotten a lot of mention in the view of COVID. And so, Carol, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about emergency funds. Can you explain what is an emergency fund?
An emergency fund is just a savings that you've set aside with no particular goal, just to be there for unanticipated expenses. And I think if people had an emergency fund during these last few months, they learned how valuable it really is if you lose your job or if you're furloughed for a few months.
Yeah, and how much should I plan to put in an emergency fund? In other words, what is whether it's a dollar amount, a percentage, what is the best way to do that?
Financial planners usually say enough to live on for 3 to 6 months to cover your rent or your mortgage and groceries and your necessities. If you're starting at zero, I would say set a goal of maybe $2,000 and just try to get to $2,000 of money that you're not going to touch unless something unexpected happens.
Yeah, I agree. It's so important when a crisis comes up like COVID that you really, are not prepared for, to at least, have some safety net to use. And that's basically how we are defining an emergency fund. So in terms of the fact that it's a short-term savings, what's the best way to invest in an emergency fund? Like, where should I put the money?
Well, it's not money that you would invest because this is money you want to have available if you need it tomorrow, rather than investing. You're not putting it at risk. So probably the best place is a savings account. It can be at your local bank. It can be probably at a bricks and mortar bank rather than an online bank, so you don't have to wait for any cash that you need. You're not going to earn a lot of interest on this, but this is money that you want to be able to get to. So probably wherever you bank now, just get it in a savings account. If you already have a banking relationship with a checking account, arrange with your bank to transfer maybe every time you have a deposit, a certain amount of money goes into your savings account automatically.
Yeah, I like the idea of a separate account because it just really earmarks the savings where you can't touch it. I like to call it like a no-touch fund.
Right.
So you have your regular checking account and then your emergency, and that really defines it more as an emergency, so you can't go into it.
And it's money that's separate from like your retirement savings, or maybe if you're saving for a down payment for a house, if you have other savings goals. This is something that is going to be there, if your car breaks down, if you lose your job, if for some reason your income is reduced, you've got this safety net to rely on.
Yeah, and we do know that during this recent crisis that there are, so many people that just maybe never heard of an emergency fund, never thought about it. So I think that, the fact that we're talking about it and more people are talking about it is really going to help people move forward. I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Carol. We're with Shore Financial Wellness, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Take care.